Oh, just as I'm starting, I've realised I've got to drill a hole in there. There we are. We can sort that out afterwards. Yeah, we're looking at a few sort of smaller jewellery type items. So that's the emphasis for this one. Just going to check everything is working as it should do. We've got our scroll saw set up. We've got a blade in. I'm not sure how long I've been using that one, so I've got a few spare blades just in case. What I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to do the pierce work. So I'm going to do a pierce work hole for the paw print in that one there. A little bit of work on our elephant. A little bit of work on the robin as well. And then the main sort of bulk of pierce work is going to be on. Oh, hello there, Mark. Are you running late? Yeah, well, that was the plan. But we just about got there in the end. But thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to check everything. Yeah, I set a time in the hope that I'll make it. But sometimes it doesn't quite work out. But hope everyone's well. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to get cutting. This is all then geared towards items that we would turn into jewellery. These ones we would turn either into pendants or brooches. That would be the main sort of focus for these. But yeah, we get straight into the pierce work. Let's get working. Let's get cutting. Feed that one in like so. Put the tension on. And then the same as always, we'll have a mask. And the ear defenders too. Put that tension on properly. Are we ready to go? Any questions, any thoughts? Let me know as we go on. I love doing the paw print one because it's so simple and it's so popular too. It's a lovely little item to cut out, and as many items as we can make with a paw print on, you can guarantee you'll sell them pretty quickly. Also as well, for everyone who's joined us, don't forget there's been a new upload from the carver, so a quick little shout out there. Check that one out, like a stylized family carving, lovely little demonstration. And also check out Gabby. Gabby's got a new upload as well, so a little bit of wood turning. Check both of those out, well worth a little look. But of course, after we finished with our live stream. I'm looking here now, I reckon that maybe that hole Is that the hole there? I'm going to check it with the spike. I'm not sure if it's the hole or whether it's not quite gone through. Is that the hole or is it a knot? I think that might be a knot. Let's try and push the blade through. Let's have a little look. I think what might have happened, well, yeah, we got a little problem there. We haven't managed to drill right the way through. So there we are, first problem of the day. We've done our pierce work, but we haven't done it right. These things happen. There we are, we go on to just cut in between the claws of our bobbin. So tighten that blade back up to get the tension right. And away we go. Now recently we've been having quite a few questions, and it's to do with the videos, some of the content that we've been making, and that's to do with sort of setting up a business. One thing that was put to us was, when getting started with a business, should you sort of persevere with mastering using the scroll saw, or should you just start out with a coping saw? Interesting question. My own reply was to focus on mastering the scroll saw, spend more time on that. There's advantages with using the coping saw because of course it's hand tools, so you're improving your eye, it's that sort of hand-eye coordination type thing as well. So there are, uses and times when it's great. But as a business, mastering the scroll saw and putting it to good use is definitely the way I would go. I'll put it to everyone though. What's your thoughts on that? Would you have advised coping saw or scroll saw? For me, because of the speed that it does things at, from a business point of view, I just think it's an essential tool for us. But as I say, any other thoughts, let us know. As I always do, we just check the back just to make sure that it is cutting nicely. What's going on here then? Look at that. Thanks for that. You're absolutely welcome. I don't know what's happening, but some of the comments are not coming through. I was just asking for your thoughts. Somebody was asking about someone was asking about starting a business. And they were saying, should they just start working with a coping saw to get started, or should they try and master, because they're a bit nervous with the scroll saw, should they spend more time practicing on that? And my advice was just get going with the the scroll saw. That's where your best bet in terms of putting your time, because there's so many different items you can make and you can produce more quickly. But just interesting if anyone had any other thoughts. For me, scroll saw all the way. Yeah, fair comment that one. What you got access to? Yeah, in the example, I think they had access to both. So that was my my thought. It's a different. I'd give a different answer if they were doing it as a hobby or an interest. Then I would say, you know, go for the one that you enjoy working with the most. But when it comes to the business answer, then yeah, scroll saw would be my my thought. Mark, so you can't use a coping saw yet because of the grip. Scroll saw allows you to make the rest of the work disappear, find it relaxing. Yes, spot on, absolutely. So that's the thing, it is whatever, you know, suits yourself and what is most appropriate and what meets your needs, really. But yeah, it was that was the thing, because it was a business specific question. That's why I answered it in that way. So what we're doing today, as we're going through all of these little jewellery items, we'll do all of our pierce work first of all except the one that I've managed to make a mistake on and not drilled right the way through. I'm thinking what's happened is the distance, the drill, when I've drilled it down, because it's right in the middle, it's probably just caught on the edge here, part of the drill stand, and hasn't gone right through. So these things happen, but we will crack on and make the other little jewellery items. Hello, sir. I think, was it yourself who asked me about the scroll saw or the coping saw? We've just been talking about it. Yeah, we're just discussing a few little thoughts on it. That's why I said the scroll saw, it's just worth spending the time, mate, if it was yourself who said it, worth spending the time mastering, because it just saves us so much time when it comes to the making. And because you can do things like stack cutting, that I'm doing here, you can make multiple items at the same time. Fair points, I think. It was, thank you. No, you're welcome. It's always good to have other thoughts. See, it's good where we discuss different things. And any questions during a live stream, it's always good because you'll get other opinions from Mark and the carver, Gabby, different ones who sort of turn up and join us. Yeah, you'll get different input, and that's why it's great to have the live stream so we can have a chat about different things. I think my answer is more suited to someone who's learning in general, spot on. So if you already have the skill, then I would choose the scroll saw as well, especially if starting a business. Yeah, that's the thing with it. So I think from a business point of view, the scroll saw, one of the things that I'm always thinking of, see, is because you're looking at starting a business, you need to be able to compete with mass production. You need to be able to compete with cheap items that are being made, you know, where labor is inexpensive. So you have to sort of work out all of these different things. What gives you the best chance of competing? And then the answer with that is a scroll saw. It's the one thing as well I wouldn't compromise in terms of I want a good scroll saw. So I know you probably, you know, most people do when they're starting out, get an entry level one. But from a business point of view, the scroll saw, you can get away with some of the other kit being more entry level, but the scroll saw, yeah, make sure you got a good one and make sure that's where you sort of put your money initially. With the price of electricity now, maybe stick with hand tools. Yeah, that's the other point. That's the other side of the coin, isn't it, Mark? That's the other part of the argument. That's why we don't turn the lights on in the workshop too much. People think we're closed all the time now because the lights are off, but I have to explain, no. It's just that the electricity company wants to charge us so much. Now, a good example with this little this little brooch of how we have to improvise as we're going along. So we followed the line, but the lines that I've drawn originally don't quite line up. So I'm just going to change the angle slightly, so hopefully it will line up a little bit better. If you have any questions as well, and any thoughts, any areas you'd like us to help out on, yeah, let us know during the live stream, and again, we'll do our best to help out. Right, so there it is. That hole there, I've forgotten to just, what I do see is I put a bit of packing tape on the bottom of the design to lubricate the blade. Sometimes I forget to just spike the hole, so we use a spike just to pierce the hole so you can carry on cutting. It would be intro to see a company redesign the old school pedal power saws. It would certainly make for interesting video. Oof, I've seen, there's, I remembered on one of the scroll saw groups on Facebook, which have got some useful information on them, well worth checking out if you haven't. I remember there was one chap, I think he was in one of the South American countries, and he was using the pedal saw. Oh my goodness, probably had a kick on him like a donkey, because that's one serious leg workout that is, doing that. But fair play to him, he's producing lovely work too. So yeah, it would be interesting. And of course you can get a foot pedal for this, for turning it on and off, which some people prefer than pressing the button as I do. I forgot as well, last week I was explaining everything Oh, one for sale in local boot sale. I think we've got one around the workshop here as well. I forgot this week as well. Last week I was explaining everything, wasn't I, in Spanish at the same time. So it's good for me to practice my Spanish. So I'll have to summarize what I've been explaining in Spanish quickly. And then I'll continue and I'll explain it in both languages. Hasta ahora yo expliqué que yo usé este cierre porque es más rápido, acorta con este cierre de mano. Y una persona pregunta, para un negocio es mejor empezar con este cierre o la máquina. Y yo siempre dice es mejor empezar con la máquina porque es más rápido y produce más cosas. Es muy importante. Este cierre es muy importante para nuestro negocio. El madera yo trabajo hoy es caoba y yo tengo diferentes diseños de joyería y es una demostración para hacer joyería en madera. Pero tú quieres preguntar algo, pone en los mensajes y yo voy a contestar mejor yo puedo. No, I could imagine the shipping costs to get it to the States. You failed Spanish, oh dear. There we go. We'll have to start. We're throwing a bit in with the live streams. So yeah, it was asked last week. Someone was asking, "Can you do it in Spanish?" So I thought we'll do it in both languages. Right, we'll continue cutting out. Yo continúa a cortar este joyería. Hola José. Buenas tardes. De Sevilla. Es un sitio muy bonito. Y Mark pone un poco galés también. Mark's put a bit of Welsh in there too. Pranga. Buenas tardes or good afternoon, depending on which language you know best. Mira, ahora las líneas yo necesito cambiar un poco porque esta línea yo quiero recto. En ¿cómo se llama este símbolo en castellano? Es para la música. Pero cuando yo he terminado, es joyería y es un símbolo, la gente le encanta y yo vendo en la tienda. The same, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to change the line coming down there, just to change the angles a little bit so it'll be straight. But that's all part of it, you know, when it comes to cutting things out, scroll saw, and it has to be, you have to improvise a little bit. Mire, este es normal cuando corta con la sierra, porque porque yo no soy una máquina. Necesito cambiar un poco el diseño para poner bien. Pero es normal porque mi ojo ve un poco izquierda o derecha o corta un poco mal, pero luego yo pongo todos bien otra vez. Signo musical. We call it a treble clef. And we got the Dutchman's Woodshack Incorporated. Howdy, hello there, hope all is well. Thanks for joining us. Any thoughts, any ideas, anything you want to know, let us know as we go along. Also as well, put it out to everybody, what are you working on at the moment? I know the carver is busy, he's got some new goats. So, yeah, the Dutchman's Woodshack, just saying hi to everyone as well. Yeah, so what are you working on at the moment? Anything new with Mark as well that you're working on? Any projects? The carver's being kept busy with some new goats, been doing a bit of building work for them too. Y yo pregunto, José, ¿tú tienes diferentes cosas haciendo con la sierra ahora? ¿O hace diferentes cosas? ¿O cómo va las cosas con la sierra? Yo pregunto a todo el mundo para, proyectos o algo para compartir con todo el mundo. I will continue cutting out. Super new. Hello there. Wood carving recently. Oh, I'm glad the videos. That's fantastic. Oh, delighted to hear that the videos are useful. Check out the carvers as well because he's got a different carving style. But yeah, glad they're working well. I'm currently in Lundersmeer, Holland. Fantastic. Sounds great. Hope the weather's good there. It's very good here. ¿Y el tiempo? José, ¿qué es el tiempo hoy en Sevilla? ¿Cuántos grados tiene? I started making a couple of pens on the lathe. It's a bit different, sounds great. A lot of work though, Mark. Fantastic though. You see some nice pen blanks with all the different colours. Brilliant. Sí me hago algo cositas, pero desde que veo tus vídeos me estoy... Muy bien, sí, un taller muy bien para trabajar. I haven't found any woodworking here in Holland. Well, that's a problem, ¿no? Aquí en Sevilla hace 40 grados. Un poco calor, ¿no? There we are, Jose's just saying 40 degrees centigrade. I don't know what that's in Fahrenheit, but I know It's very, very hot. Es posible freír un huevo en la calle con este grados, ¿no? Este hace mucho calor. Mucho, sí. And which one did I miss? No woodworking in Holland. Well, that's interesting. It's that what's happened. I mean, there's not as much going on here in the UK now. A lot less than there used to be. So you've really got to sort of seek it out. Dad was watching a TV program. Reckons there was less than 100 wood carvers that are doing it sort of full time in the whole of the UK now, which is pretty shocking. Y no sé, José en Sevilla tiene mucha tradición para hacer cosas en madera, porque yo he visitado diferentes sitios en España y yo no veo mucha cultura para trabajar con madera, haciendo, ¿cómo se llama?, regalos, cosas pequeñas. Unos sitios sí, pero poco, pero tienen buena madera para trabajar. That's 110 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that sounds about right. About 110 Fahrenheit sounds right to me. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, as you can see from the back. Not absolutely 100% spot on. But what I would say about it is I can sort that out with the carving. So when I go to carve it, I can sort it out afterwards. The noise in the background as well, that's Thomas the wood carver, just working in the background. No, you're saying, José dice, no, aquí, no. No, cuando yo visito diferentes sitios en España, me encanta la diferente maderas. Yo uso mucho de La Mancha, se llama Savina. Es una madera me gusta para los colores, Savina, pero es prohibido para cortar este árbol. Pero la casa es mucha gente dame de madera para trabajar y me encanta. Los colores es increíble. Y en el norte yo tengo trozos de nogal y castaño y yo hago diferentes cosas en esta madera. Yo solo expliqué, cuando yo no corta perfecto, pero cuando yo trabajo con los, ¿cómo se llama? Con los cuchillos y con el mano, yo pongo bien otra vez. Just explaining the same things to Jose. There we are. Wood shack. Oh, and Mark is asking there to the Dutch, Wood Shack Incorporated, are you on YouTube? So have you got a channel? Yeah, if you have, well, we'll send everyone across to check it out. of junk, wasn't expecting that one. There we are. Right, let's have a little look. Pull that off the blade. Okay, not too bad for burning. That was my concern with that one, because there's a lot of sharp turns. So I think we will just about get away with that. Yeah, it's quite clean on that one there. So yeah, thankfully, because sometimes you have to do a lot of cleaning up, and when they're small like that, it can be quite awkward to get it sorted out. Let's have a little look. Oh, hello Rick. Thanks for joining us. Hi from Texas. Brilliant. So appreciate your videos. Glad you do. Have first scroll saw ordered. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to learning from you folks. Brilliant. Oh, that's great. If you need any templates, anybody needing any templates to get started, remember, remember, there we are. So the Carver's just said he does have a new channel and a new sub. There we are. Brilliant. I'll have to remember that one and check it out. Remember, there's the Carver's channel worth checking out, but also if you're looking for free templates, a lot of the links in the descriptions of our videos, there's a link that takes you onto our scroll saw page, and we put up quite a few templates for free. So yeah, when you're getting started, if you need some designing to help you get started, put it on there. ¿Cuánto tiempo lleva en este de haber montado tu propio negocio de regalos? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas en este? I'll have to get Yelly on the translator here. ¿Cuánto tiempo? Yo pasa, mira, ¿cuánto tiempo haciendo cosas? Yo trabajo cada semana, yo trabajo lunes, yo trabajo cada día. Lunes hasta viernes yo trabajo estricto, 9 hasta las 5 y 1 hora para comer en el mediodía. Pero yo trabajo también para el fin de semana y sí, y todo el día es haciendo regalos, diferentes cosas en madera. Pero yo paso mucho tiempo. La verdad, yo disfruto, pero necesito, porque tiene gente venir a la tienda y necesita cosas para vender. Yo creo yo entendí bien, pero tú explique otra vez y yo contesto mejor. On that point as well, with how much time we spend on it, what I'm always looking for are little techniques and methods to speed things along. So when it comes to things like this, we're stack cutting 2 and 3 layers together, so it just speeds that process up, and it gives you gives that ability to be more productive in what you're doing. Yo expliqué, muchas veces, José, yo pongo 2 o 3 trozos de madera juntos en la sierra, porque es una forma, es una cosa que yo uso para producir más y más rápido también. Es necesario porque tiene competición de producir la gente, mira, más producción, no sé en castellano, y hay muchos sitios ahora haciendo cosas en madera muy baratas, porque es países pobres haciendo cosas también, y es una forma yo usar para hacer las cosas un poco más rápido. There we are. I thought so, but it says the name is changing. let's have a little look. Right. Do I remember your villains, Robbie Rules, and corporate? Yeah, that's going back. Have you read Durable Trays? Or has anyone else here read the book? It's a good one. Your villains remind me of the book. Fair dues for you knowing that about that one. Not many people would. That's going back. I've got my Mighty Oki over there. Pero que desponseto. La tengo solo. Ah, vale. Sí, yo entiendo. Yo contesto ahora. Let's have a little look. It's about the Industrial Revolution and how it changed the way we work and interact for the worse. Yeah, I can see the point. It also booked ranking trays that have been around as long as the US, many of which can be passed down for generations, like what you are doing. Yeah. And then you've got Marx and sorry. Right, yeah, no, I'm caught up on everything. Mira, no, esta máquina, I'll answer Jose first. I'm going to answer him first and then I come back with all the other ones. Mira, Jose, la máquina no necesita otra electricidad. Mira, por ejemplo, es posible poner en una casa o un piso en España y va bien. Nosotros no tenemos diferente electricidad, no necesita electricidad comercial. Yo creo es igual, es 120 también, yo creo no tiene más fuerza. La más importante es aquí, y yo uso Nickel Speed Reverse Tooth número 9. Y es muy bien para cortar madera duro. Right, let's have a little look. No tomas. No take. Yeah, I mean you are right, and it's sort of with the trades and things, and our cartoon idea. Yeah, that was never came to fruition, but I've still got Mighty Oki that I carved out. might be watching that being cut out and think, well, there's some strange ways, strange little techniques that you're using. But basically, the reason I'm cutting it out in a specific order like that is because I want to keep it together as two, stuck together for as long as possible. So I managed to get the whole cut done without separating them. So we got our two cut out, and I'm happy with it. So when you're working on little projects like this, that's what you're trying to do, is to work out as well, how can we keep them together for as long as possible, because if you're trying to work in there, very delicate, very awkward to do. Hello Ken, hello Rick, hello Chris, thanks for joining us, hope all is well. No, José, de nada. Me refiero a la potencia de la máquina. Sí, yo entiendo. La potencia, sí, es una máquina. No, yo busco, pero yo no veo la potencia. No sé dónde está en la máquina. Yo busco. Yo veo, yo contesto. Tiene diferente información, pero yo no sé. Yo no sé la potencia de la máquina. Aquí tiene información de... No tiene aquí. No sé, pero es una máquina normal, no es muy fuerte. La verdad es esta parte es muy fuerte. No mueve mucho. Y ¿cómo se llama? Vibración no tiene poco. Y este es mucho mejor. Right, let's have a look. What would I search to also watch videos from the carver? Put in, I find the best one that works for me. If you put in the carver, there we are, it said bear carving in walnut. And the other one I find that he comes up on is the carver owl. That comes up as well. When he's got 1 million subscribers, he'll be the first one to come up on everything. And that's, he won't be joining us for the live streams then. No, but that's the ones I put in. I tried the one that the carver said, bear carving in walnut. Yeah, that sounds good because it's quite specific. I mean, the other one should come up, the latest video, stylized carving, stylized family carving. The carver, that might come up as well. Sí, yo entiendo, José, pero yo pregunto a mi padre y yo no, la verdad es yo no sé qué es la potencia. ¿Tiene aquí? No tampoco. Yo busco aquí para ti. No, este es la información de la compañía y aquí que tiene algo aquí, pero yo no veo bien. Un día, cuando yo recuerdo, yo voy a buscar en la compañía. Esta máquina se llama Hegna Multicut 2S. Tú pones este nombre en el red, seguro en la página de Hegna tiene la información de potencia. Pero es una buena máquina para trabajar. Ellos hacen buenas sierras. Otherwise, you just get serial killer channels, right? Yeah, so maybe worth being careful on the searches that you do. Give it a go. Are those worth a watch? Oh dear. Could be a few interesting documentaries, I guess. going back to it again, similar with this one as with the butterfly, always looking for how we can go about making the project the easiest we possibly can to cut out. So if I come straight down there, then I got a smaller piece of wood, a little bit more difficult to control. So, you know, if you're learning scroll sawing, if you're new to scroll sawing, we're always using those little techniques. So for instance, if I went and cut in there, which is something that I do when I forget, then you release it from the bigger piece of wood and it makes the cutting out simpler. And if you're thinking of it in a business point of view, you're always looking, develop and learn these little techniques to make it as easy as possible to cut things out to make the projects that you're making. Always as well, my wife includes, because she stuck these down for me earlier, she always includes that owl. I have told her it's too much work. And again, so you're thinking about that when you're working. So for instance, the paw print, what we do, we cut out the internal work, drill 4 holes, cut the surrounds, and then just take the sharp edges off just around it to make it look a little bit more like a paw print has been, you know, placed on the item. And then put a little brooch clip, super glue it on the back and shellac it, job done. It's a heck of a lot quicker making that than it is that. So when it comes to the business side of it, you've always got to be thinking of these things. How can I survive as a business? What's the best things for me to make? So in that case, the paw print is a lot better item. It's a better seller as well, but it's a more popular item and it's an easier one to make. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. Right, what have we got on there? Your Italian is fab. Thanks for that, Chris. It was Spanish. This little tune of the wood carving as opposed to human carve. Yeah, absolutely. We've got to get more people into the wood carving. It's I used to be an archery instructor. Found some great ways of hiding my mistake. Yeah, there's all sorts of. Have I missed anything else? No, I think we caught up on it, everything. And I'll just explain what I had to say. 2 daughters who eventually date, so I wouldn't count myself out. Dear me. There we are. Good luck in the future with that. That sounds like it could get a bit difficult. Right. Before I can start cutting, I'll also explain just in Spanish for Jose. Mira, Jose, yo solo explique. Yo corta en diferentes formas porque yo quiero el producto es un parte de la troza de madera grande. Es más fácil de cortar de un trozo pequeño. Y yo corto en diferentes direcciones para poner un parte del entierro para más tiempo yo puedo. Y este es una cosa, cuando es un negocio, es buscando para opciones, pone el trabajo más fácil y más rápido yo puedo. Let's get cutting again. You mentioned Italian though, Chris, my son now, he's decided that he's interested in learning languages and he started on Duolingo. He's got a Spanish mum and he's decided he's going to start learning, he's going to learn Italian instead. So there we are, we can't move on. Muy interesante, es pura madera ¿Qué madera es? La hoja de sierra y moto de caledora puedo soportar. Hola Wilba, mira, la madera es caoba y esta madera es uno muy típico de aquí. Y yo no sé en castellano, pero yo he visto en España, pero cuando yo pregunto, no sé. Los colores es un poco parecido a Sabina, pero no es Sabina, es más duro y huele diferente. Y no sé, pero tiene los dos colores. Este es el corazón de la madera y este afuera tiene diferentes colores. Me encanta por este. ¿Cómo se llama? La hoja de sierra, este aquí, se llama Niqua Speed número 9 Reverse Tooth. Y yo uso para todos. El color empieza a cambiar y cuando el color cambia, pronto necesita cambiar la hoja. Y la máquina que yo trabajo es Hegna Multicut 2S y es una buena máquina y la verdad, ¿cómo se llama? No sé. José pregunta para este también. Busca, mire, en el red, en la página de Hegna, seguro tiene la información de esta máquina. Pero Hegna es una compañía de Alemania y hace cierres fenomenal. Right, if you need any tips, give me a shout. My daughter's in the 30s and I've solved some problems. Oh my goodness. I won't ask any more, Mark. Your boys are going to be outstanding in languages. We'll see, yeah, it'd be good if they spoke a few languages. They get a bit of Welsh in school. Of course, they get English at home. They get Spanish as well. And now Nico's decided he wanted to download Duolingo and learn Italian. Much to his mummy, a little bit of disappointment. He said, Nico, start learning a bit more Spanish. But all through the summer now, when we're away, they'll get Spanish all the time. So, it's quite interesting with the kids because both of them, for some reason, they don't speak much in Spanish. But when they're hungry, it's incredible. Their Spanish is perfect. Or when they want to do something, or when they want something. And another one that I've noticed that they've learned is that they'll ask me for something, and I'll say no in English. And so they go and ask mummy in Spanish and see if that works. So they try it all. But that's kids. Okay, I'll put it to everyone as well. To finish off, what shall I do? I've got another project there that I got to do some work on, so I can carry on the scroll saw, or I can go across and do some wood carving. Yo pregunta en castellano también. ¿Qué prefiero? Yo continuar trabajando con la sierra, yo tengo otro proyecto, o yo hacer un poco trabajar. ¿Cómo se llama? Con las cuchillos. Yo demonstrar con estos. Yo pregunto a todo el mundo qué prefiere. Let's have a little look. I'll wait for a reply. I got to change the blade anyway. We wait until we get a couple of responses. Well, carving for the carver. That's 1-0 to the carving. I'll change the blade while we're waiting for the votes. Here we are. So we've got one vote in, the carver. We give it a little bit longer. If we don't have any replies, then we'll go with the carver's suggestion. I've changed this scroll saw blade. Mira, el color cambia, empieza a cambiar. Cuando el color cambia, ¿cómo se llama? Hoja. I got 3, and that's where it does, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, that's it. No, that's grand. Oh, we got 2 for the carving. There we are. We're going for the carving. First 2 votes in, we'll go across to do a bit of carving. Just as well, I've set the camera up for a bit of carving, so we get onto it. Yeah, and yeah, they're great, aren't they? Kids for psychology, they soon figure things out. It doesn't take them long. What I will do as well is I will show you why that paw print is such a good item. There you go. So we just changed that blade over, like so. So that's ready for our next bit of work. And let's take a couple of things across and demonstrate some carving for you all. Those ones, yeah, we take that one there. Brilliant. Right, change the cameras. There's the camera. That one there, and we want to change the microphone. And that one on. There we are. I'll take your phone so we can see what's happening, see what's being said too. So the first little job we've got is to change over. I gotta see, that looks a little bit dark to me. We need to brighten things up a bit. Let's have a look. That should help. We don't want it as dark as that, see? Right, so we're on the bench. I got my cup of tea. It's gone a bit cold, but it's okay. I have a peppermint tea, I have. And I prefer it when it's gone a bit cooler, but that's a bit too cold. Excuse me, but it means I can drink it quicker. So the first thing I'm going to show you is just, well, this one here, you can see we've got a little knot on that one, but that'll be the back of it, so we're not going to worry too much. Although things like knots and stuff like that, I think it's because we were, with Dad's background as a carpenter and joiner, he doesn't, you know, we always didn't like them so much, but people like all that sort of thing in the wood, man. Wood with character. So you can see all we would do with this one is we would just take the sharpness off, on the front at least, of the where the paw prints have gone in, just like so. We take the just round this little bit off as well, just like so. And that would be it, as simple as that. Mira, yo solo corta un poco y este símbolo es para los mascotas y es un símbolo, la gente encanta cuando yo hace cosas con, ¿cómo se llama? Es el mano de los mascotas, no sé, yo no sé en español, y yo solo corta un poco para poner un poco más la forma de una impresión. Solo corta en esta forma y ya está. Muy fácil para hacer. Y ahora yo pongo una troza para terminado en la forma de joyería y yo vende para, no sé, 7.50, yo creo 7.50 libras. Just saying. We just put a little clip across there to finish it off. A little bit of sanding work just to take off some of the sharp edges. But it just shows you a simple little item, and we'd sell that in the workshop. Probably get £7.50 for one of those. This one here, what we're going to do, the first thing, we're going to try and separate the layers. And most of the time when I separate the layers, it works out. We don't break them. Bingo. Sometimes you get the odd one, you go and split it when you separate them, but that one's separated fine. It's just luck of the draw sometimes. Wow. And it's because I'm rushing half the time when I'm super gluing them together. Right, so we start off with all of our stop cuts down into the woods. Para empezar, yo corta en esta forma y luego cuando yo corta en esta forma para terminar. Es dos formas, abajo en la madera y el sitio corta abajo, corta en la dirección. Solo para poner un poco más interés en la diseña. Pero para hacer uno de este es mucho más trabajar la diferencia. Este es para un producto, para vender, es mucho mejor que este porque es menos trabajar. I'll just explain it. With this, you have to finish off. That's Thomas the woodcarver in the background. You have to do a lot more carving to finish off a little item like this. So that is why, when it comes to a sales point of view, when it comes to a business point of view, that is more successful, the paw print, because there's less work in it for us. So it's just better all round. Yo continúo a cortar en la madera y cambia la forma. Es solo para poner un poco más interés en esta joyería. Y este aquí es papel. Y yo pongo un poco, no sé, ¿cómo se llama? Loctite para poner la diseña, pero luego yo quita y ya está. Pero es más fácil. Tiene diferentes, ¿cómo se llama? Marcas, líneas. Yo uso para cortar más. Es más fácil. Un poco de dirección. Just saying, we put the paper on there to cut out. Just makes life a little bit easier. And then afterwards, we'll get rid of all of that paper. It's quite fun doing these live streams in 2 languages. You'll have to forgive me a little bit in Spanish. Some of it is not perfect. But it was Jose asked me last week if I would do a little bit in Spanish. Why don't I do a bit more in Spanish? So that's what we rescue that one. Can we rescue that one? Yeah, there we are. No problem.
There's another one there to rescue as well.
Yeah, that's all right. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to carry on with them, or
okay?
They're both fine. They're both fine.
Okay, I won't cut the back of that then.
That's fine. Yeah, we can sort both of those. No problem. All it is sometimes that the router, when you cut, is just off to the side a little bit. So that's a method that we use, is to use the router initially just to take the bulk of the work out. Just reduces some of the pushing that we have to do. Because the one thing I can guarantee, if you're going to be a wood carver, you're going to spend quite a bit of time pushing. And it's getting a little bit challenging at the moment. Again, because this hand, these nails, that one's it's hanging on, it is. And it's going to be a long time before that is fully recovered. Amazing like that, isn't it? It's a moment, a split second, where you get hit like that and you've got to put up with it for months. And it didn't help that I was having to repair our conservatory door on the weekend. That didn't help either. Well, trying to repair it and failing. Not a very good mechanism in it, to be honest with you. But there we go. Such is life. Mire, la madera yo trabajar con este es un poco caoba. Y yo coge caoba de diferentes sitios, muebles, ¿cómo se llama? Ventanas, sí, ventanas y... Pero mira, tiene cristal y muchas veces aquí pone el cristal en trozos de madera. No sé, en España hace igual. Yo creo en el norte de España y Sudamérica. Norte de España sí. Pero por ejemplo en Barcelona yo he visto más metal y ahora empezar con plástico también. Muchas ventanas aquí es plástico, pero antes es madera y buena calidad de madera, pero depende cuando la gente pone la ventana. Pero muebles y puertas, diferentes cosas para en la casa. Cosas viajo, cosas la gente no quiere, madera de todos sitios. Just to explain a little bit about where we get the different woods. So this one here, quite often, window frames, that sort of thing, for getting hold of the mahoganies that we use. Here we are. So you can see we just added a little bit of detail, and then we're just going to carve down a little bit in this one. Ahora corta todos y quita el papel. Y otra vez pone no sé, una cosa para hacer joyería de este. No sé cómo se llama en castellano. Yo necesito buscar. Pero me gusta mucho hacer joyería. Y es una forma, los trozos de madera pequeño, para no solo quitar y, no sé, poner en la basura o usar para el fuego, estufa, yo hace joyería. Gente venía en nuestro taller y pregunta, ¿tiene trozos madera no usa? Y siempre yo digo, no, el problema es yo usar todos. Ellos preguntan, ¿tiene trozos? No quiere, porque quiere hacer cosas también. Y siempre yo digo, no, porque yo uso para diferentes productos. There we are. Simple little carving, just like so. But you can see, not a huge amount of carving, but there is more carving than if you're working on that one there. I'm going to have a go at doing our butterfly. I'll tell you what I don't like with the butterfly, always. Squeezing it in the vise. I've broken many a butterfly. I generally do them now. I generally do them using a clamp, because they've got a tendency to go pop and break. So we'll have a go. We see how we get on. Mire, yo expliqué muchas veces cuando yo hace una mariposa, no me gusta poner aquí. Yo usa es una cosa diferente, porque muchas veces yo rota la mariposa porque con un poco presión por aquí rota, y unas yo rota, pero necesita. Para esta demostración yo usé en esta forma y ya está. Es otra vez corta todo papel. Y en el fin es un trozo de caoba también, porque todo es de un trozo de madera. Y en el fin es un pequeño joyería también. And this, as we just explained, will end up as a little piece of jewelry. Yo necesito estudiar un poco más las palabras para... Thomas, es buena la madera de pino para tallar. Mira, pino, el problema es porque crece más rápido. Este es un problema. Maderas, generalmente, las maderas crecen rápido. No es mal, por ejemplo, es posible usar con la sierra. Este no es malo, pero la forma yo corta, especialmente porque yo corta, la forma yo corta no es en la dirección de la madera. Es más fácil cortar la madera en esta dirección, no en esta dirección. Y este es el problema cuando trabajas con pino. La madera rota mucho más fácil y no corta limpia. Y este es el problema con pino. Pero por ejemplo, maderas de limón y naranja, diferentes cosas de nogal, Castaño es un poco, la madera es un poco más abierta y es un poco más difícil, pero posible para trabajar. Roble yo uso mucho, es bueno, pero es duro, es un poco más duro. Y caoba tiene buena caoba, es fenomenal. Y seguro en España tiene buena caoba porque hay mucho caoba de Sudamérica. Y este tipo de caoba es el mejor del mundo. Y el de Caribe también. Pero la verdad, mira, tú quieres trabajar con madera. Para mí, yo pienso es mejor usar diferentes maderas y busca qué es mejor para ti. No, de nada, de nada. I really like the treble clef. I've done a few love spoons with it on. Yeah, we got a few. We got 2 designs that we do regularly with the treble clef. And just to catch you all up on what we were talking about then, Jose was just asking about working with pine. Just explaining, cut's fine. So if you're working on the scroll saw, cuts without any real problems, no real issues. But when it comes to the wood carving, because the pines are more open grain, the only problem is I don't know what the word for grain is in Spanish, but there we are. I managed to get round it and explain it in a slightly different way. Because it's more open grain, it's slightly more difficult then when it comes to the carving. More difficult to get a nice, clean, sharp cut. Pero no, la verdad, José, es yo uso mucho diferentes maderas y unas me gusta, uno es muy buena, mi padre encanta y cuando él empezó a trabajar con madera, es la madera a él le gusta más y es teca, pero la verdad es, ahora no hay mucho porque es prohibido para ¿cómo se llama? Importar madera. Porque es de Asia y el ley dice no puedo comprar este madera. Just explaining, Dad's favourite for working in, especially when he was learning to carve, was teak, but of course is prohibited now for importing. Right, so you can see we're just carving off most of the paper, like so. I never asked actually, everybody else, what's your favourite woods for working in? I get the impression with the carver, correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 of the ones you like working in, I guess as well, is what you've got access to, isn't it? Because I know you've had some beautiful slabs from the one gentleman you know. And that the 2 that come to mind when I think of the carver are walnut and cherry. But yeah, what's your favourite? And everybody else as well, just before we finish, what's your favourite wood for working in? Myself, I'm a bit of a funny one because I like all sorts. I probably spend most of my life working in oak. But I'm not sure that, you know, it would be my, oh yeah, that's my favourite. It's just because that's what people ask me to work in all the time. But I certainly wouldn't say that I dislike working in it. It's an enjoyable wood for using. There we are. So you can see we got most of that paper off. Cherry walnut boxwood. Now there's an interesting one. Yeah, I carved a few things out of boxwood. Now that's proper hard stuff. You must be a bit like myself, a bit heavier handed. I've only used maple and linden. Linden, yeah, great for learning. Maple, a little bit on the hard side. But I love the maple because of the beautiful colours that you get in it. And the linden then, we call that flowering vine, we refer to it as. And in the US, quite often, I always thought you called it basswood. Boxwood, oh, that's dense stuff. I've done a few carvings in the boxwood. I tell you, if you like that one that you'd probably enjoy, and we don't see it very often now, but one that you'd probably enjoy working in would be, what's it called? Rosewood. Rosewood, dense stuff. But yeah, it works nicely. So there you go anyway. Hopefully that's been interesting. that's us making some little bits of jewellery. All we'll do, we'll put a little brooch clip on the back, a couple of coats of shellac, and they go on sale. So there we go. That's how we do it. 3 little brooches. And we've got 1, 2, and 3. Just like so. There we are. Happy days. Thank you for joining us. Hope you all have a great week. We'll be back, all going well, next week. I've been struggling with getting filming done, but we should still have an upload on Wednesday. I'll try and keep it going. I think the way it is looking in the future, it may be sort of down to every 2 weeks that we can keep it going. But what I'm doing, for you all to know, I think that the content is better when I do a more in-depth video. I don't know whether that's right, but I always feel that when I spend a bit more time, as opposed to trying to rush out videos every week, I'd rather get out slightly longer videos, slightly better quality and more focused on a specific area. So that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, hope you all have a great week. Thank you for joining us. Yo expliqué en castellano también. Mira, con nuestros videos yo empecé a hacer videos un poco más largos y el problema con este es yo necesito pasar más tiempo haciendo los videos y yo creo en el futuro necesito hacer un video cada 2 semanas y ahora yo hace uno cada semana, pero yo creo en el futuro no puedo, pero yo prefiero hacer videos un poco mejor calidad, un poco más específico en diferentes partes de trabajando con madera y yo creo es un poco mejor. Muchas gracias por compartir tu tiempo con nosotros hoy y yo quiero que tú pases un buen semana. Muchas gracias. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for staying with us. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly had some fun. And all going well, we will be back for another live stream next week. Thanks again. Remember as well, check out Gabby's latest uploads and check out the Carver's video where he looks at a stylized family carving. Thanks again.